3 weeks ago, in a room filled with Silicon Valley's elite, the king of AI made a confession that felt like a surrender. Jensen Huang, the architect of the modern AI revolution, looked at the world and said, China is going to win the AI race. Not might win, will win. The man who built a $5 trillion empire on the GPU just told his customers their most critical technology is on a path to obsolescence. And the terrifying part? He's right. Because while the West was focused on drawing lines in the sand, Chinese scientists were solving a puzzle we gave up on 100 years ago. This isn't a story about stealing blueprints. This is a story about rewriting the rulebook. Today, we're connecting two breakthroughs that just shifted the entire axis of global tech power. Let's rewind the clock. Before the digital age, engineers dreamed of a different machine, the analog computer. It was elegant and a complete disaster. These machines were noisy, drifted out of control, and were abandoned. For a century, analog computing became a synonym for failed experiment. Then, on October 13, 2025, researchers at Peking University published a paper that should have sent a shockwave through every physics textbook. They built an analog chip that was 100,000 times more accurate. They achieved a level of stability that was considered a physical impossibility. Here's the genius. Every NVIDIA GPU has a fatal design flaw. It's called the von Neumann bottleneck. The memory is in one city, the processor is in another. Data has to make that exhausting commute, burning power and wasting time. The Chinese team didn't solve the traffic, they demolished the cities and built a skyscraper. Their chip uses something called resistive RAM. A single memory cell is a dimmer switch with hundreds of precise settings. Here's the magic trick. When you need to calculate, you send a current through the memory itself. The resistance values are the calculation. The lab results? 1,000 times the speed of an NVIDIA H100 with 100 times better energy efficiency. But here's the line that changes everything. This was manufactured using commercial production processes. This is a product. The US sanctions were a logical trap. Cut off China from the most advanced GPUs. NVIDIA's Jensen Huang warned them it would backfire. He was right. Sanctions didn't cripple Chinese ambition, they redirected it. With the front door bolted shut, China started building a new foundation. They were forced to leapfrog, and in doing so, they may have just leaped over us entirely. But at the exact same moment, another team was pulling off a trick that feels like it's from the year 2050. Close your eyes and imagine the core of a data center, the roar of fans, the blast of heat. Now erase that. Imagine a chip that computes not with electrons, but with light. A Chinese company announced a quantum photonic chip already being deployed. They claim it can be 1,000 times faster than GPUs for monstrously complex AI tasks. This chip runs on photons. Light doesn't create heat, it moves at light speed. And here's the shocking detail. A system that took 6 months to build can now be deployed in 2 weeks. This is a coprocessor designed for one job, to annihilate the math that AI thrives on. Jensen Huang gave the real reason China will win. He said, energy. The AI race is an energy race. Right now, in America and Europe, the AI boom is hitting a wall, the power grid. Now, pan to China. The state is cutting electricity costs by up to 50% for tech companies that use domestic chips. Today's AI runs on hardware that consumes the annual power of a town. These new chips are 100 times more efficient. They sip power. China's energy strategy is fusing with hyper-efficient hardware. They are building the only AI infrastructure that might be physically possible to scale. So, what are we left with? We are witnessing a fundamental split in the future of technology. The West is optimizing the digital paradigm. China was forced to reinvent it. The GPU built this generation of AI, but its reign as the unchallenged engine of intelligence might be ending. Jensen Huang knew that cutting off a competitor doesn't make them quit, it makes them desperate. And desperate, brilliant people invent a new game. Right now, the new game is taking shape, not as a copy, but as a successor. The race didn't end, the track just changed.